welcome back. Fred in the shed, yeah, up in the Radio Shack. And an announcement from Raddy for the RF-919 radio. This was a radio that I reviewed a few weeks ago. It's a communication receiver, very sophisticated radio. And it's a response to not so much my review, but other people when they reviewed this radio, they were disappointed with the long wave performance. I'll be honest with you, where I live, I get very little long wave reception here because we've got a massive medium wave transmitter just down the road. It wipes it out, which was a bit of a pity. But a few people complained they weren't happy with the long wave reception of the radio, felt it could have done a lot better. And Raddy have responded to that pretty quickly. Unlike Panasonic, Sony, bigger manufacturers, they wouldn't be interested once they produced a radio, but Raddy have responded and they've sent me this. And this is a external ferrite bar antenna that we'll have a look in a minute. It goes in the top of the radio, and this is for use on the long wave band, and it's supposed to be far more efficient than the built-in antenna that's in the radio, and also supposed to be far more sensitive to eliminate interference and to allow you to tune the radio. Now the good news is that as from now, if you order this radio, it will automatically come with the external antenna, but they're not turning their backs on previous customers. If you've already purchased this radio and you contact Raddy via email to their support section, they will send you this long wave antenna free of charge. At least I think it's free of charge. I don't know if you have to pay the postage, but they'll send you the antenna is free of charge. So yeah, we got backward compatible support, which is amazing. As I say, you just don't get that with bigger manufacturers. Let's have a look and let's see how it fits on the radio. So the antenna plugs into the top socket here, which was the external loop socket. You just have to remember that you need to switch that little switch in the on position to make that socket active, and the antenna simply plugs in the top. It's been made so that it fits very nicely in the top there. There's no gaps, it fits on there quite snug. And now you have a fully directional, far more sensitive long wave antenna. Before we even go outside, I just thought I would test it to see if it can reject interference, because I do get a lot of interference inside. So I'm just going to switch the LED lights off in the shack because that doesn't help. And this is now using the internal long wave antenna. I've got that awful interference. We're now going to switch over to the new external antenna, and that interference has dropped off, and I can now rotate this. Turn the volume up.
What happened in the last one, and how do we use that notion of great invention to think about what might happen in the future?
How about that?
My name's Johnny Pitts. I'm a writer and artist who works with photographs. In this series, I'll be sifting through the wreckage of...
Well, that has really worked.
...to see what we might glean from the projections that didn't pan out. Today, the future feels highly contested.
Going to switch back to the internal antenna again.
Up against the weight of...
Back to the external.
When the future seemed packed with unlimited possibilities.
That's completely fixed it.
The future felt exhilarating. It revolved around one place in one extraordinary time.
So just using that inside, it completely rejects all of the noise from the house, which wipes it out. That's quite impressive. Let's take it outside and let's see if we can get that reception even better.
guests as we extract the humour from the hustings in the news quiz.
The 2024 general election. Complete coverage on BBC Radio 4. BBC News at 4 o'clock. The leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage, has launched his party's election document, which includes a promise to freeze all non-essential immigration to tackle what he says is a population explosion. Mr Farage concluded that it was unlikely the party would win the general election and instead aimed to be the main opposition. He also said he wanted to allocate an extra £17 billion of funding to the health service every year and tracking not good commitment. The Liberal Democrat leader, Sir Ed Davey, has said that a new UK-EU trade deal, short of joining the single market, could be done really quite quickly. But the Liberal Democrat leader refused to be drawn on whether he'd work on this with a possible Labour government.
So I think you can see the benefit of having the external Ferrite bar on long wave. I'm going to try it now on medium wave AM, and it's not completely tuned for that band, so it probably won't perform as well as the internal antenna, especially as you can adjust the tuning of the internal antenna, but we'll give it a go. You never know.
News headlines, and we'll have you back with the football before you know it. Belgium against Slovakia at 5 o'clock. Great game between Romania and Ukraine, 3-0 to Romania, which means that England's game remains the dullest of the tournament so far. He said controversially. Right, let's plough on, shall we? It's 4 minutes past 4.
This is where it begins, here.
On BBC iPlayer, you'll find what you love.
Here comes the cabaret.
I'm Detective Sergeant Rebus.
And love what you find.
Oh my gosh, it's all come down to me.
Of course, they are the underdogs here today, and their Italian coach, Francesco Calzona, has said that a draw would be an excellent result. They've got a very experienced core, Peter Pekaric and Juraj Kucha, both 37 years of age. Milan Skriniar and Stanislav Lobotka have won the level in Europe, and they will add to what is a considerable... It is Dubravka in goal, Pekaric, Vavro, Skriniar and Hansko, the back four, Kucha, Lobotka and Duda in midfield, Trans and Haraslan supporting Bozinic in attack.
Nigel, thank you very much for now joining.
There you go. I mean, that was very conclusive on long wave. That drastically improved the reception of the radio, and the fact that you can tune it and knock out all of that interference. But just by switching over to the bar, all that interference has gone. So yeah, definitely improved it. Medium wave, I don't know really. It's difficult for me because I've got that large transmitting tower down at Brookman's Park, which is a few miles down the road, and that tends to bleed over a lot of my medium wave stations. But I will say it's easier to tune on the weaker stations because, once again, being it's a ferrite bar and the signals will be hitting it on the breadth of the bar there, coming in that way, by turning it you can tune the radio a lot easier than having to do it this way. I think the main advantage though of using the internal medium wave antenna is that you can use the manual tuning, and that can knock out a lot of interference. So 50-50 on the medium wave. It didn't hurt, but whether it was a massive improvement, I'm not really sure. But a thumbs up to Raddy for stepping up to this and improving the radio even more than it is, and also not forgetting previous buyers by, as I say, if you email Raddy, they will send you this ferrite bar antenna free of charge. Like I said, I don't know if you have to pay postage, but I'll leave the email address in the description. Just email him and said, here, Fred says you'll send me an external antenna for my Raddy that I've just bought, and they'll send that along to you. You can't really ask for that, and as I say, not many manufacturers will do that once you've actually parted with your coin. So yeah, an improvement on an 919. The only thing they really still need to improve in my book is the muted tuning on the outer wheel. If they could do that, I think that would improve the radio even more. So let's hope that's something for the future. Another little radio I've been testing today, and it's this completely different end of the scale, is this little XH Data 328. This radio is about less than 1/5 of the cost of this radio. This is one of the cheapest radios you can buy on the internet that covers shortwave, and it's got 9 shortwave bands. And I was testing this today, and it surprised me. It performed really well. It was exceptional for the money. So that will be coming up on a future video. Look out for that. That will surprise you. Anyway, for this one, I think we're all done. So, as always, thumbs up from me, Freddie in the Shed. Do appreciate your view time. Never take you for granted. I'm a small channel. I do appreciate every view. If you get a second, hit me a thumbs up down below, and at least I know you've watched and liked the video. That helps me. Yeah, of course, that doesn't help. That helps the channel, doesn't it? Anyway, as always, please, please, please look after each other for me. Stay safe, and we'll catch you all on the next video. Cheers, guys.